Hello, I'm making another YouTube video. At this point, I still haven't actually made my YouTube channel, so I also don't know what I will refer to myself as, but if I start recording, then I'll actually have to do it at some point, so just making myself do it so I don't procrastinate, as I mentioned last time. Still on my bed, horrendous setup, whatever. So I want to discuss the admissions test I had yesterday. So today's Saturday, and then I sat it yesterday, and it didn't go horrendously. The thing is, it's for one of the best universities in the country, so you need to do quite well to be able to get the course, but my standards were quite low, and I think I want to discuss stuff around my standards and my expectations following the admissions test. So I'd been doing some practice tests, but I started later than I ought to have. So it's October. I started doing them like mid-September. Most of the people I know at school probably did some over the summer. I did none. I was doing other stuff. Like, I was working, but not on those specific admissions tests. Oh, my hand fucking hurts. So I was thoroughly underprepared, and to be able to get a good score, you need to get like, I don't know, like 85 or 90% or higher. It's not marked a bit differently to that, but that's roughly what you need to do. I was getting one of the times I got like 20 out of 40. That is like really low by the standards that you need to do well. And I told this to my friend, he mentioned this at a lunch table, and someone else who was doing the same test just looked at me and was like, what the fuck, how? So that was embarrassing. And I kind of honestly gave up on getting the university like the day before the test, or a bit earlier. So I kind of just thought, you know what, I'm probably going to fail. And I came to terms with that, and I said, if I'm going to fail, at least let me fail putting in effort, as opposed to just like half-assed and thinking, oh, I could have done better. Let me make sure I fail thoroughly, if that makes sense. So my standards were quite low, and I did, okay, that's the thing, right? Like, how I do depends on my standards and my expectations. And my expectation was, oh yeah, on a scale of 0 to 9, which is how they mark it, I get like a 6, maybe less than that, something like that. So anything more than 7 would have been good by my standards. So when I was talking to friends, they said, oh, well done, you seem to have done fairly alright if you're feeling confident. But they probably had higher standards, which is why I feel more confident than they did, which is interesting. So there's that aspect of giving up before I'd even tried, but also having confidence while giving up. Kind of, it's a bit strange. But there's also just the after effect, right? So for the longest time, I've been making this joke, because I have another admission test for another university. Oh, okay, these two admissions tests, they're going to be the death of me. I hadn't made that joke in person a lot, but in imaginary conversations I have in my head, I made that a bunch. Oh, Jesus ain't shit. I'm going to come back from the dead twice in 1 month. Like, that was pretty much it, word for word. Coming back from the dead twice in 1 month. So, by that logic, by those jokes, that sense of humour, yesterday should have been devastating. I should have pretty much metaphorically died, right? But I feel fine. Like, I walked out the exam hall and I was talking to my parents, and I was like, nah, shit happens. I didn't feel horrific. I didn't feel amazing, like I'd done amazing. I didn't feel like I'd failed. But just in my head, I'd been building this up into a really big thing, and it doesn't feel like anything big. So that's kind of what I want to think about or discuss. My parents have just got home, so I will start whispering now. But, like, I don't know. I think the main thing is, in my head, it was much bigger than I thought it would be. And I thought, okay, once I've done it, I will feel drained, wrecked, absolutely destroyed. And I feel fine. So I think it's just, stuff isn't as bad as, exams aren't as bad as I expect. But I'm not sure quite what to make of my expectations of how I'd feel and how I actually am feeling. So that's why I'm documenting this, I guess. Hopefully I create the channel soon, and then I'll actually know what to refer to myself as, and I'll start actually uploading these videos. But until then, I'll probably see you around, I guess. I have no idea how to end YouTube videos. I promise I'll get better at this, please. I will, I promise. Just not yet. Until then, I guess. See ya.